kiss. When Stephan told me his family was moving to another city, it was just a week before my 7th birthday. At 8 years old, he enjoyed teasing me by pulling my ponytail or loosening the bow in my hair. Anyone would think that finding out I wouldn't see him anymore would bring me great happiness. The surprise came when, impulsively, I planted a kiss on his lips moments before he vanished in the moving truck's cloud of dust. It was clear that our first kiss would also be our last, since I would never see him again. Fate was in charge of showing me how wrong I was, because 10 years later, our paths crossed one more time. The day I saw him again, I was walking calmly with my friends through the carnival visiting the town, when someone stole the ribbon from my hair. I recognized my former neighbour instantly, and my cheeks flushed at the memory of the impulsive kiss. After our reunion, we shared much more than that innocent gesture. Through him, I was introduced to an unknown world of affection and caresses. We exchanged many more kisses until he announced that he had enlisted in the army and would soon join other young men going to war. The second last kiss I gave Stephan was much more painful than the one before. This time, surrounded by couples in a similar situation, I realized I was no longer saying goodbye to a child. I wasn't bidding farewell to a boy, but to the love of my life, knowing he might face death before returning to me. Through tears, on the train platform packed with soldiers in green uniforms, we shared what I believed would be our last kiss. Despite everything, fortune once again smiled on us. 4 years, hundreds of letters, and thousands of tears later, Stephan returned home. To pass the time in his absence and help my country, I became a nurse. When the war came to an end, I had a profession, the man of my life by my side, and a future ahead of me. The one who didn't seem to have anything to offer us back then was our country. War-torn, unemployment and hunger were rife, while possibilities and food were scarce. An increasing number of young people began seeing America as the land of opportunity. Starting a family with Stephan was what we most wanted, a way to generate life amid so much death. But there was no way we could bring children into the world if we barely had enough to eat. The temptation to try our luck in the new world was very strong. A recruiter offered Stephan the chance to go on an adventure and build a new life. But while he would get the ticket, I didn't have enough savings to cross the ocean. Once again, fate separated us with the promise that we would save together, so I could join him later. We said goodbye again in the port, between handkerchiefs in the wind and the sound of the chimneys. We gave each other a third last kiss. It was clear to me that regardless of the many promises we made, no one could guarantee us a future together. I had seen many couples like us saying, "See you later." None of them had met again. The difference was that this time my destiny was in my hands. The mission to save money was not only Stephan's but also mine. Taking advantage of my experience as a nurse, day by day, cent by cent, I was saving the money needed. By the time Stephan could send me half the ticket, I had already gotten the rest. When I stepped onto solid ground on the other side of the world, I thought that if I survived that journey, there was nothing I couldn't do. Being able to enjoy a prosperous and peaceful life with Stephan for the first time was a dream come true. However, our story had changed my perspective on life. No matter how many kisses living together in peace could promise us, the agony of not knowing if I would have to endure the torture of a potential last kiss again made me live each one more intensely and try to make the most of it. Life went on with work, children and grandchildren, without major shocks, and with a tranquility hitherto unknown to us. Even so, I continued for the rest of my existence cherishing each kiss as if it could be the last. When this one finally arrived, it just seemed like one more to me.